Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on when and where you're watching. It's your girl Choose Compassion, and we're just coming with a story time. I saw this, I was up, and I wanted to not watch it by myself. So, without further ado, let's go.
So just for you. Story time about how I found out my man was living not a double, but a triple life. Honey, that man was busy. I ain't gonna lie, this gonna be a long video. It's probably gonna be about two, three, maybe four parts. So if you don't have time, save it and come back. And if you do, let's get into it. Also, feel free to tell me how dumb I am in the comments. I know I was in my 20s, y'all. It's not the same no more, but anyways. So at this time, I was working at a fast food restaurant, and next door to the restaurant was a building, it's like a government building, I guess you could say. And a guy walks in or whatever. I'm taking his order. Now he is somebody who I don't know him like that. I just know him in passing. But we get to talking because I'm working in the restaurant. I'm taking his order or whatever. And he tells me like, you know what? My homeboy got a crush on you. Next time I come in here, I'm gonna bring him in here. And I'm like, who? Yo, homeboy. Now mind you, I don't know this man like that. Like that. I just know him in passing. So I don't know none of your friends, and I'm a little leery about who the heck they might be because I just was leery. So I had to sit up for this next part. So a few days later, when he came back in, y'all, I'm like, oh, okay, he did come back like he said he's gonna come back, which wasn't, he usually came in there every now and then. But behind him, the specimen of a man that stood about 6 foot, nice little stature, full beard, nice lips, nice teeth, beautiful eyes, freckles, red hair, just smelling good, looking good. Like I said, they worked at a government building, so he was very much looking good. We're gonna call him Power. So boom, him and Power walk up to the register. The guy puts his order in, then he introduces us or whatever. He like, hey, this the guy I told you about. He's shy, da da da. So da, da, da. So Power kind of laughed a little bit, like, he, and he was shy. I could tell by the way he was talking. He was shy. So me and him get to chitting and chatting. We exchanged numbers. Now, me and Power had already talked on Facebook, but we had never met in person. And our conversation on Facebook was very brief. I think we talked on Facebook maybe 2 days, and then we just never talked again. So we were acquainted. We weren't acquainted or like that. Had never seen the man in person, and this whole time he right next door to me. Oh, y'all. Oh. So, anyways, yeah, we exchanged numbers, and the rest is history that I'm about to explain. I'm about to break this history down. So one day he calls me. He's like, "Hey, what are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm just, at home chilling." Now I had two jobs at the time. I had used the fast food job to get me another job, and I had the day off of work from both of those jobs. And so I'm like, I'm at home chilling. Now I'm thinking like, oh shoot, he about to, ask can he come see me because we had been talking during this time, but we hadn't seen each other again. And it's probably been about a week. So yeah, I'm thinking he about to come, want to come see you, girl. And I'm like, what are you up to? And he's like, oh, I'm with my daughter. We're about to go to the library. I'm walking her to the library. And I'm like, first of all, that's cute as hell. That's a green flag for me. A man that spends times with his children, and he said they were walking because they wanted to explore the neighborhood. He had just moved in the area. Love that. Um,
And we also have to be careful because some men do use the children as, you know, a kind of bait thing. Sometimes it's just too early to be, eh, getting all riled up because of the children. But let's continue.
and then you're going to the library, education. I love that. So I'm like, oh, that's so cute. Like that's super sweet. Like hit me up when you done. He like, yeah, I thought about you. I want to check in on you. Thank you. Even when you with your children, you thinking about me still and want to check in on me too. So you know how to multitask. I love that. So that was a green flag for me. A couple days go by, and we're on the phone again. And he's like, "Yeah, I'm headed back up to the library with my daughter." I'm like, "Y'all walking again?" And he's like, "Yeah, we still walking or whatever." And I said, "Well, what library are y'all going to?" Because there's a library right across the street from my house. Y'all, why does man say the library that was right across the street from my house? He told me the name of it, and I'm like, "That's the one that's right across the street from me, like directly across the street from me." So I hadn't seen him since we exchanged numbers, and I asked him like, would you be okay like stopping by, or maybe I could just come up there for a minute? And he was like, "Yeah, we'll stop by." So I'm like, "Okay, cool." Now I also have two daughters. Well, I have two daughters and a son at that time. But nonetheless, I had two daughters. So I'm like, yeah, bring your daughter over. Y'all can chit and chat. When they got done at the library, they came on across the street. We letting the kids play. I introduced them or whatever. Everybody introducing each other. The kids off doing their thing. And me and him sitting on the porch. We doing our own thing.
Okay, I'm always leery of this. You see, I put a red flag up there. We meeting kids and we don't even know each other yet. No, but let's go. I'm gonna put red flags.
Sat down, we had a great conversation. It was a good time. Our kids got along really well. That is also a green flag for me. You got to get along with my babies. And if we both have kids, they got to get along with each other. Green flags. So that day we went off without a hitch. Boom, I'm loving it, right? So some more time goes by, and we just kind of start hanging out. So it would be times where, like, if I was at work, he would come up to the job and like just kind of chit chat with me, just sit down. He did not eat fast food, so he was just kind of sit down and talk to me or whatever. Or like if we had some time when we were both off of work or whatever the case may be, he'll come by or we was on the phone. Now he never came in my house. We was always just sat outside until one day sitting outside. It was hot AF. I said, let's go in the house. So we went in the house. We're sitting downstairs. Yo, we talked all day until it was nighttime. Like all day until it was nighttime. And I was like, you want to stay at night? Side note, my kids were not home, so don't get the tripping. And even if they was, that was still my business. But they were not home during this time. I did not bring men around my kids staying the night when my kids home. We don't do those type of games. So, yeah. And he was like, no. No, that's another green flag because if a man feel like he got any little way that he can finagle his way into your bed, he gonna take it. And this man said, no. Green flags all across the board. So boom, he goes home. Now this did happen a long time ago, so I don't know the full timeline of everything, y'all. I'm just giving y'all proximities. Sometimes
I'm gonna say red flag. Just because he turned it down don't mean necessarily in all cases. It might just mean, oh my goodness, you're trying to give it up. That might be a red flag for him. So we have to make sure that, in our relationships, we're clear what can be a green flag for us could very well be a red flag for the man, such as, oh, my bad, such as being ready to do the boom boom chicken little dance. That might be a red flag to him.
goes on, we talking, we hanging out, whatever. And it got to the point where he was at my house so much, he dang near lived there, even though he had his own place. Now I have been to his place before, not like as long as he's be at my house. Like it wouldn't be for no hours or nothing. It would just kind of be for like a few minutes, and then we would leave and go somewhere else. But
Sorry, red flag again. I, regardless of the timeline, he's spending all this time at your house. Nah, you might have been to his house, once or twice. That's a red flag, sis. Red flag. And I'm not talking to this lady because she's learned her lesson. But for people that maybe don't know or need to be reminded, like when they're trying to, they know more about you and they're more in your space than you know about them, or you don't have equal time, in their space in their life. That's always a red flag for me.
one day we at my house, and my homegirl's over there and her cousin, and we was, he was very well acquainted with my friends and my family, with the family that I did like talk to. He was well acquainted with them, so I'm like, okay, cool. Everybody like them, my kids like them, we all like each other. So one day we're at the house, and he said that he needed to stop by his place to go grab some papers or whatever. And I'm like, okay, cool, like we'll go with you. And he like, no, I'll go by myself. And I'm like, no, like we're already all hanging out, like let's just all go. So we all go, y'all. And this is where the story begins. We go to his place and we in the car. So my homegirl actually ended up driving everybody there. We just all piled up in the car and like, we gonna drive with you, girl. So we go to his place and we're sitting outside because he's like, I just gotta run in real quick. I'll be right back. So again, it's hot outside. It's summer during this time. So we're sitting outside in the car. He in the house taking a long time. My homegirl's like, girl, I gotta go to the dang on bathroom. Like, I'm not about to keep waiting on I didn't have power to come outside. I'm about to go knock on his door. So I'm like, okay, let's go. We all get out the car. We go up to the door. I think her cousin stayed back because he was on the phone or something. But me and her get out the car. We walk up to the door. We knock. Nobody's answering the door. Excuse me. Knock. Again, nobody's answering the door. So she get to call his name. Power. Open this door. I gotta go to the bathroom. Power, come open the door. I gotta go to the bathroom. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure it's the right apartment. She's like, are you sure? I'm like, yeah, it's the right apartment. So we go around the back of his place. And well, she went around the back and she was like, girl, his sliding glass door is broken. I'm like, what? She's like, yeah, his door is broken. So I'm like, oh shoot. So she come back to the front, and by the time she came back to the front, he opened the door, but he looking on. He like, I'm like, because you in there getting high? Like, what are you doing? Like, so he rushed through the apartment to the back of the apartment or whatever. And I'm like, what the hell? So Money like, what is going on with him? And I'm like, girl, I don't know. Let's just find the dang on bathroom. So we go to the back, like towards where he was. The bathroom was in the back of the apartment. We walk into the back, y'all. His house is disheveled, like this. It looked like it was ransacked. All the
Okay. First of all, this whole thing is a red flag, so I'm just keeping it up. But red flag, it's hot outside. Y'all outside of the car. Can't come in this house. Once you get in there, well, once you go knock on the door, no one's answering. Time to go home. And now y'all get in there, the back door is off the hinges or whatever, and the house is disheveled. It's time to go. It's time to go. If y'all walking in somebody's house after them not answering the door and all this stuff, and he looking at you crazy, then you go in and everything is disheveled, it's time to go. You don't know what didn't happen in there. Robbery, you don't know what happened. It's time to go. Red flag. Period.
curtains is closed, the blinds is closed, so it's daytime, but it's dark in there. His sliding glass, the curtains on the little sliding glass thing was closed. The blinds were closed, but I'm looking because Money said that they was broken, like the sliding glass was broken. And she was initially scared to go in because she like, girl, this is the right department. So we're walking back to the back of the bathroom. I mean, towards the bathroom. I'm just kind of peeping everything out. And he's in the room. He closes the door. I'm like, oh my God. So Money goes into the bathroom and she like, bitch, the light's not turning on. I said, the light not turning on. She said, no. I said, huh. She said, I'm just using the light for my phone. I said, okay. She used the bathroom. I'm standing in the hallway. I'm just kind of looking around. And I start walking around. Right? I'm just like walking around and scoping stuff out. Money came out the bathroom and was like, I couldn't wash my hands. You got hand sanitizer? I said, why you can't wash your hands? She said, the water won't turn on. I couldn't even flush the toilet. I said, are you
Oh no, no you didn't. No you didn't. Yes, I did a shade there. Oh no. What? It ain't no lights. She tried to wash her hand and ain't no water. It's time to go. But I'll take the red flag sign down. I know I'm gonna put it up again
serious?
shortly.
She said, yes. Come back for part two. I'm gonna say this, and chaos creates distraction. You see this film? Okay, so you asked, was he a light bright? I don't really do light skin too much. I can count on one hand how many times I've been attracted to a light skinned man. But for this one, think Common and Omari Hardwick. Like, if y'all need a visual, that's the visual, baby. Yes. So not light bright, but more like a goldeny, you know. Yeah. Okay, so we left off with Money asking me for hand sanitizer. I give her the hand sanitizer. In the midst of us talking, Power comes from the back room and he's like, he sees us and then he turns into the kitchen and he's going through like his little junk drawer. So she like, you need to go talk to him and see what is going on. So I'm like, okay. So I go over and I talk to him. I'm like, hey, like, why your apartment look like this? And he like, I really don't want to talk about it right now. He's turned around and started looking through the drawer again. And I said, no, we need to talk about like what's going on with you. Like what's up? You're being weird. Your apartment is crazy. What's going on with you? And he looked at me again. He like, babe, I really just don't want to talk about it right now. I promise I'll tell you everything. Can we just talk about it later? I'm like, I need to know what's up. Like I'm someone who pressed the issue and I'm nosy. So I'm like, I need to know what's up. Like you gotta tell me something before we leave this place. So he's like, I will, just hold on. So he leaves the kitchen and goes back into the back room. So when he leaves, Money was like, come here. And I'm like, what? And she was like, girl, this is an eviction notice. She's snooping around the whole time we're talking and she finds an eviction notice. So I'm like, this man's been put out. So she was like, I'm about to go outside in case they call the police because he's not supposed to be up in here. She goes outside and I step outside.
Time to go. Time to go. You don't. Okay, ladies. If you done met a man and it's all green lights and He's spending more time at your house than you are at his. You get in his house, it's disheveled, it's this, it's that. No lights, no water, eviction papers. It's time to go. You ask what's going on. You see what's going on. So this would be the time to exit stage left. Red flag. I mean, these are more than red flags at this point, but we're just going to call them that. So if he's getting put out and he has no lights and water, and you know he's been over your house, think we know what's coming, but let's continue.
Right with her. And then when we step outside, there's a neighbor. The neighbor's like, "Is power in there?" And I was like, "Why?" And she's like, "Oh, they've been looking for him. Like the police officer been looking for him." And I'm like, "Oh, I don't know." And she's like, "Well, the police are on their way out here." At that
No,
point,
no, no, no. Time to go. Time. The whole police is on their way. They looking for. It's time to go. Red. The flag is flaming red. It's flaming red. It's red.
I'm like, "Oh." So me and Money go back to the car. She's like, "I'm gonna start the car, but get out of here." I go back in there and I tell him like, "Hey, the police might be on their way out here. Like, grab what you can grab and let's go." He's like, "Okay." So he started grabbing his stuff or whatever. I go to the car. Me and Money at the car, and her cousin's at the car also. And me and Money is talking, and Money was like,
No, 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 no. Not grab your stuff and let's go. The police looking for you. You ain't got no license. No, I will see you later. Let me try to let this story go.
so he got evicted. And I'm like, I'm guessing so. And but I'm like, you have a good job. Where's all your money going? So I'm like shook because what the fuck is going on? He comes out the door and he has like a bag, and he has like some folders or whatever, some stuff that he need. And Money like, "Do you have everything?" And he like, "Yeah." So he started putting stuff in the trunk, and then he was like, "I gotta talk to you." I'm like, "Okay, spill it." So he like, "No, like let's walk off a little bit." And I'm thinking like, the police on the goddamn way, like where's we going? So he like, "No, like this, come on." So I'm like, "Okay." So we walk off like away from the car, and he like, "I gotta tell you something." I'm like, "Okay." He was like, "I'm not supposed to be there. I broke in through the back. They changed locks on me and everything." And I'm like, "Why didn't you tell me this? Like, when did this start?" He like, I just really didn't know how to tell you, yada yada yada. So then I asked him like, "So when you were coming home, like, where were you going? Like, were you going home?" He was like, "Yeah, I was going home. I just kept breaking in." It's not funny, but he was like, "Yeah, I was coming home. I just kept breaking in." And I was like, "So that's why you spend most of your time in my house?" And he was like, "Yeah." So then I asked him like, "Where are you gonna go? Like, can you get a room or something?" And he like, "I don't have no money."
Whoa,
"What do you mean you don't have no money?" He like, "Yeah, I don't have
no money? Oh no.
any money and I don't have anywhere to go." "So what are you about to do?" So he just staring at me, and I'm staring at him like, "Hello, like." Hello. And then I'm also thinking, we gotta leave. The police are gonna be on their way. Like, we gotta make this conversation quick. So I said, "What are you about to do?" He sit down on this little rail. And he's just looking at the ground. He like,
He looked at me and I looked at him and she should have left. I'm sorry.
"I don't know." I said, "We gotta figure something out. Money gotta drop us off." And he like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. So he sit on the rail, hands in his head. And I'm like, "Do you not understand you about to go to jail?" Like, maybe he wanted to go to jail because it would, I mean, that would answer his question about where he gonna go and what he gonna do. So he like, "I'm just be honest with you. Please do." Yeah, this man tells me, I was under the impression that he had 4 children. He had, I don't know the number specifically. I know it was at least 7 and at most 10 because some of the kids I know he did not have relationships with. And there goes that green flag, right? So he has a bunch of kids that he didn't tell me about. His license is suspended because he owed child support. His car repossessed because he was not making his payments. He got evicted from his house. He had been sneaking back in because he didn't have nowhere else to go. I did know that his mom and like some of his siblings did not live in the same city and state as us. So I know that the family that he did have here, he can't go to them because they just he just couldn't go over there. And what else? I think that's it for the time. So I'm just like stunned. right? And the whole time he telling me this, he's not even looking at me. His hands just in his head, and his head is just down, and he's just like, and so I'm just looking at him, and I'm like, why didn't you tell me this? He like, I don't know. I've been trying to get everything back together, like yada yada yada. So I'm like, where's all your money going? Like, you have a job. Where's all your money going? And he like, I have to, take care of my kids and yada yada yada. I'm thinking like, if your license suspended, you're not taking care of your kids, but that's not the here nor there. So money started walking towards us, and I'm like, well, money is coming, like we gotta figure something out. So money comes up, and she like, so what are y'all doing? Like, what y'all about to do? Like, what's he doing? What is he doing? Because she's trying to get up out of there. She's like, what is he doing? And he stand up and he look at me, and I look at him, and I look at money, and money looking at us, and I'm like, we just gonna go back to my house. And she like, you sure? I'm like, yeah, we just gonna go back to my house because, like I said, money already know he got it because she saw the damn letter. So she like, all right, well, come on, for the police get here, like we gotta go. So Money started walking off, and he hugged me. Thank you so much, thank you so much. And the whole time he's hugging me, I'm just like standing there because I've been put in a situation where I could just be like, oh, hell no, f you. But I'm super empathetic, y'all. I have a heart. I have too much of a heart, and I was just like, come on, let me take in the stray, honey. Take in the stray. So I'm gonna give y'all a minute to catch y'all breath, get a little breather if you need it. And I gotta go help my son with this project for school. So I'll post part 3 either later on tonight or early tomorrow morning. So keep Okay, boom. So he ends up moving in with me. Now things actually start to go pretty fast this timeline because we wasn't having no issues. He moved in. He immediately started putting money in my pocket. Was helping with the bills, putting groceries in the house, helping with the kids. Like he was doing, what he's supposed to be doing. And because of that, I was like, okay, maybe this could work. He cooked, he cleaned. We had no issues when it came to the household. It was not a problem. And I was like, okay, maybe this is where we're supposed to be. So we decided at that point, since he's already there and we're already cohabitating, to be in a relationship. Before we weren't even together, y'all. We was just dating then. But we decided this wanted to be in a relationship. His kids started coming around more because we had a conversation about the kids. And I told him, it's important for me that if you are a father and you have children and you're around my kids, you also need to be around your kids. Like there's no being around my kids and you ain't around your kids. That don't mix to me. That's not cute. I've never been that girl. That ain't fucking cute to me. So I told him we need to start getting your
Wait, hold up. But you met him and he was out walking with his kids coincidentally in front of the library by your house. Mm,
kids. Now mind you, I say he had a lot of kids. But he, for whatever reason, could not see all his kids. He could only see certain ones. So the kids that were allowed to come over came over. So on the weekends, y'all, our house, the dang on Chuck E. Cheese, honey. It was my 3, and he would have like 3 or 4 over at a time. The other ones he couldn't really see them all like that. Like they would rotate in and out. But the one daughter he saw like all the time. She came over all the time. And then there was 2 other ones. Because of me, he was able to start seeing them. I think she kind of just wanted to know that he was stable. And she saw like, okay, he got a house, he got a girl, they got kids, they look cool. Okay, cool. I'm gonna let the kids start going over there. So yeah, the kids coming over. We are very much a blended family. Well, with most of his kids. Oh, before I get into that, we're following each other on Facebook at this time. I typically when I'm dating somebody, I don't follow them on Facebook, and this is probably one of the reasons why because it just get weird. But we were following each other on Facebook, and he would like leave like posts on my wall. Did I still call it? I haven't been on Facebook in a long time. I guess it's still called a wall. But he would like leave posts on my page to be like, "Oh, babe, at work, I miss you so much. Can't wait to see you when I get home." Or, "Hey, babe, I love you. What are we having for dinner?" Love. I love you. What are we having for dinner tonight? Oh, babe, I'm thinking steak tonight. Oh, honey, I thought about you so much. Like he would just be playing it up on social media, and I am not a social media relationship kind of girl. Like I'm very much like, okay, lay it low, none of your business, unless I tell you. He was very much like, put it out there for the world to know. Okay, keep that in mind. So he's like one day, like, oh, I want to start doing like more relationship stuff, like more couples and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, cool, we can do that. He's like, I got this homeboy. He was playing basketball with apparently that he wanted to invite over for dinner. He's like, yeah, him and his girl, real cool, and he's a barber and she's like into a medical field or whatever. And I'm like, that sounds real familiar. So a mini story time, real quick. So I used to date this guy. He was a barber. He was a barber. Me and him was hooking up for a little minute or whatever, here and there, probably like a year. And it was never nothing serious. We were just and I decided, like, I caught feelings for him, and I was like, you know what, I kind of want to be with you. And he was like, I kind of like things where they are, and I was like, oh, okay. So at that point, I found somebody because I was ready for a relationship. I found somebody that I wanted to be with, that I wanted to settle down with, somebody that had been hit me up for a minute. I kept spinning, and I finally gave him a chance. And I was like, boom, let the barber know, like, listen, can't rock with you no more because I found this new guy. So I cut the barber off abruptly, cut him off, and he was a little bit salty about that. He's like, wait, I'm like, no, too late. He's like, well, yeah, let's try it. Let's me and you give it a try. And I was like, no. So when I cut the barber off, even though he said he wasn't ready for a relationship, he ended up getting into a relationship with this new girl who was in the healthcare field. See where I'm going with this? They ended up getting into a relationship together. And I honestly feel like he got into a relationship with her kind of to like get back at me or prove that he was ready for a relationship. I don't know what it was, but I think it was off the strength of me because initially he was like, I don't want to be with nobody. But then, so we left off with, okay, so you asked, was he a light bright? I don't really do light skin too much. I can count on.
My apologies, everybody. I'm sitting up here playing with buttons and hey, donate to the channel so that I can figure this stuff out and do what I need to do. But let's continue. I'm gonna try to get back to exactly where I was here. Let's see.
I honestly feel like he got into a relationship with her kind of to like get back at me or prove that he was ready for a relationship. I don't know what it was, but I think it was off the strength of me because initially he was like, I don't want to be with nobody. But then once he saw that I was like ready to move on with somebody, he was like, I want to be with you. I want to be with you. And I'm like, no. So then I think he got with her to be like, see, I could be in a relationship. I don't know. Men do weird stuff, but that's just how I think. So boom. Fast forward back to me and Power. So Power's like, yeah, he a barber, she's in the healthcare field or whatever. I think we should have dinner together. So I was like, what's his name? And he was like, his name is, we was gonna call him Barber. He was like, yeah, his name is Barber. And I was like, I used to date him. And he was like, what? I'm like, yeah, I used to date Barber. So if that would make you uncomfortable, like, I don't think we should do it. He's like, you still got feelings for him? Absolutely not. He like, do he still have feelings for you? I said, I don't really think so. It's been a while. It's been a few years. Like, I don't think so. So he like, well, I'm gonna hit him up and then I'm gonna come back to you later. Some time passes, maybe like a day or two, and he comes back to me and we having a conversation again. And he's telling me like, oh yeah, I talked to Barber and I don't think that's gonna work. And I'm like, why not? And he's like, Barber had nothing but good stuff to say about you. Like he said all good stuff, like how you're such a good woman, how you this and this and that, and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, oh, that's what's up. Like we didn't leave off on a bad note. We just kind of like, went our separate ways. And he was like, yeah, he has so much stuff, good stuff to say about you. I felt like he'd probably want you back. And I was like, but if he's coming with his woman, and he's like, I trust him, man. I know he'll want you back. We're not doing that. So I'm like, okay, cool. So instead of doing that, we end up having dinner with his brother and his brother's little girlfriend. So the brother and his girlfriend come over. We're gonna call the brother. We're gonna call the girlfriend Sheena. So brother and Sheena come over. Me and Power had cooked or whatever. We cooked, we sitting down, we talking and chitting chat. We got music playing, this little champagne flowing, little, you know what I'm saying? It's a vibe. Like it's a cool little vibe. I had this great dining room table, like this huge glass dining room table. My house was really, really nice. So it was like it was just such a good vibe, man. We had candles lit. It was a vibe. So we talking and cooking and yada yada yada. It comes time for us to sit down and eat. Okay, boom. We get the night food, we get our food, we sitting down there by chitting and chatting. The brother is telling me about him and China's relationship and how they met and yada yada yada. Now, I went to school with China. I didn't know that China and brother was dating. Like I didn't know who he was dating. I didn't know she was dating nobody. We telling our dang on story, but of course we leaving out the bad part, making it all sound good. So damn shame that people do that. But anyways, Power was talking about like, oh yeah, my baby do that. She got this, da, da, da. She can speak, da, 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 da. And he like talking me up. And Chena gets to saying like, oh yeah, we went to school together. And I remember like she was always really nice. She was quiet. I remember this one time you helped me with this, and this. I will never forget that. Like you were always so sweet. When she's talking about me, Power just kind of looking at her like, he's just kind of looking like, and I'm like, why is he looking at this girl like that? Whatever. She didn't say nothing about it. I ain't saying nothing about it. The dinner goes off without a hitch. We have a good time. When it comes time for them to leave, me and her say our pleasantries. We say our goodbye. She goes to wait in the car. Her brother told her like wait in the car, and then I went upstairs to start getting cleaned up. And brother and Power were on the porch talking. They talked for a little bit. Then brother left. Okay. A few days go by, and his brother comes back over. He like, hey, my brother is coming over. Is it cool? I'm like, yeah, it's cool. Like, I'll stay upstairs. His brother come in. I greet him. I go upstairs. Him and his brother are downstairs chitting and chatting. About 30 minutes. I don't even think it was a full 30. It was probably, I don't know, but sometime later, less than 30 minutes later, I hear like, like it sounds like it's like somebody was hitting a punching bag. And I'm upstairs in my room, like sitting by my window.
Uh-huh. Oh my goodness. You know what? This, I, I don't know. So don't let him move in. No, the brother can't come. Why can't you go over the brother's house? Like, no.
And I'm here like, like, So I'm like, what the hell is that? Look out the window. I can't see anything. So I go downstairs. While I go downstairs, he got his brother hemmed up on the car. And his brother is like feet off the ground, right? I've never seen this side of Power before. Never seen it. So I'm like, Power, what are you doing? Power, what are you doing? And he looked back and the look on his face scared me. I'm not gonna lie. It scared me. Scared me. So he looked back, and once he kind of see me, like he has like this scary look, and then he kind of softens it and he put his brother down. And he says something in his ear. His brother get in the car and he drive off. Yo, we go in the house. We sit on the couch. I said, what was that? And he like, oh, he was disrespecting our mom. My mom told me to handle it. He was disrespecting our mom. And I said, so what did you do? And he was like, I just talked to him. I said, you have blood on your shirt. He looked up at me, with looking dumbfounded. I said, did you beat him up? He's like, I had to. Sometimes that's the only way they understand. That's the only way you can get through to him if you beat him up. I said, are you serious? You didn't beat up your, but now mind you, this was his big brother, his older brother. The brother is smaller than him, but it's his older brother. I said, you beat up your brother. He said, yeah. It's okay. You should go get washed up. And he like, I would never put my hands on you though. Like I will never touch you. Like I don't hit women. I don't hit women, but I just had to teach him a lesson, man. He can't be disrespecting our mom. I said, please go get washed up. And it was at this point that I knew that man was not on there. But baby, the plot thickens because his mother comes into town. And when his mother comes into town, oh honey, stay tuned for part 4. This is gonna be long. Okay. Yeah, my energy's kind of low today. I'm tired, but work with me. So the next day, we're getting ready for work. And he's like, are you mad at me? And I'm like, mad at you about what? And he was like, because I fought my brother. And I was like, no, that's your family business, but you need to learn how to handle your situations without fighting. And he doubled down. Like, sometimes, they don't learn until you put hands on them. I'm like, okay. He's like, well, I also fought my baby mama's boyfriend a few days ago. And I'm like, why are you fighting her boyfriend? Like, you got a whole situation. Why you fighting her boyfriend? Oh, because he be putting his hands on her. And his baby mama, she was like a real short, petite lady. I don't know what her boyfriend looked like, but I imagine he's probably bigger than her. So he's like, he be putting his hands on her, and he had did it for my daughter. My daughter talked to me about it, and I had to go put hands on him. Now that I kind of can see that a little bit, but I'm just like, you really just be out here fighting people. Like, it's other ways to handle it. And he was like, well, it is what it is. So that happens. Now I mentioned his mom coming to town. I'm trying to figure out whether his mom came before this or after, and I don't really remember. So I'm gonna just jump into his mom coming. So His mom ended up telling me like, oh, my mom's coming to town. I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. Now this wasn't the same day. This was some time later. He ended up telling me like his mom's coming to town. I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool or whatever. He's like, yeah, her and my siblings are coming. Oh, and then I also remembered, y'all, his mom, I don't know if she took care of one of his kids or two of his kids, but his mom had a child of his, at least one of his children. And he's like, yeah, my siblings coming, my kids coming. I'm like, okay.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold up. Is this the same dude that just got evicted? Why is he not living with his mama and his kids? Oh my goodness.
Okay, that's what's up. And he's like, yeah, they're gonna stay here. He told me they're gonna stay here. I said, excuse me? He like, well, is it okay if they stay here? I said, how many people was that all together? Y'all, it was like 5 or 6 people. That's a lot of people. Now, granted, I had a 3 bedroom house upstairs.
Nope. Nope, 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 nope. The mama and the kids come to live with you too. Oh my good, no, no. We live, we learn, and hopefully this story will help you see the red flags. I mean, not only is he in there, now she found out that a couple of his kids live with the mama. What? All of them come to live with you at this point, but I could be wrong. Let's see.
Downstairs, and a basement, so it's 3 stories. But I have kids. Like, it's my room, it's my son's room, and it's my daughter's. They share in a room. How you gonna tell me your mama and your mama and your siblings and your child is coming up here? And he like, well, they don't have nowhere else to stay. I said, hotel. So why would they come up here if they don't have nowhere to stay? He's like, well, she wants to come see his aunt, who's her sister, right? So she's like, you want to come see? And the sister, his aunt, was disabled. His aunt was disabled, so the mom I just kind of come to check up on her, whatever. And in the midst of that, she bring his kid to see him, and then they catching up or whatever. They gonna see the brother and the stuff that's going on with him and the brother. I guess they need to get that squared away. So I'm like, okay, your mom could come here. I guess that's fine. We'll figure it out, y'all. So I tell him like, your mom can have our bed. I'll sleep on the couch. You can sleep on the floor, or I'll sleep in the girls' room. And we'll just kind of figure out the arrangements. But y'all need to be like downstairs. Like, aside from your mama having our room, I don't want nobody else upstairs unless it's like kids or whatever. So he's like, okay, that's cool. Y'all, his mom comes. The weekend that his mom comes, she's nasty. She has a nasty attitude. Now, I had never spoken to his mama directly. I spoke to her over the phone, but it was very brief, just like, hey, how you doing? Oh, how y'all doing day, blah, 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 stuff like that. But when she came and we finally met, she was nasty. She was very standoffish. And it's like, if you're in my house, how you got to nerve to be nasty? How you got to nerve? Like, she'll see me, and I'll be like, you need everything? Is everything okay? And she'll be like kind of looking at me like, girl, why you talking to me? And then she'll ask her son for something, and then he'll have to come ask me because it's my house. I don't know if he told her that. I don't know if he told her that. I don't know if he told her that. I wonder if he told her like that's his place and I'm living there with him. He probably did.
Thank you. Thank you, because I was about to say that. Thank you.
Y'all. Now that I think about it, because she was so nasty and so rude. So Mama nasty and rude. His siblings is cool. The kid, I think it was, I feel like it was 2 kids. I don't fully remember, but the kids was cool. So that weekend, his mom's comes. My kids are there. His other kids end up coming over. His mom is there. His siblings is there, and his other children that live with his mama is there. So I got a full house. Now he tells me like, oh, this is the first day. He tells me, is it cool if you stay here with the kids and then me and my mama go get something to eat? And I'm like, yeah, like, are y'all feeding everybody or y'all just going to get something to eat? And she kind of like, and she like, I'm about to go in the car. So she go to the car. So I'm like, what's wrong with your mom? He's like, oh, she just like that. People should don't know. I said, your mom's in my house. She needs to get to know me if she's gonna be staying in my house. I'm giving this lady my bed and she has a nasty attitude. I don't want that spirit in my bed. So he's like, oh, she not, you just gotta warm up to her. Okay. So what's going on with the feedings? Are y'all gonna pick up food and y'all bringing it back? He's like, yeah, we're gonna bring it back. I'm like, okay, cool. They leave. I didn't expect to take them more than an hour, and that's being generous. I'm calling him like, hey, where y'all at? Mind you, my kids are there. I have 3. He had about 5 kids at my house. And I think his brother, like one of his brothers had stayed there. They were a minor, so maybe they were like 15, 16. And he was cool. He was just on the couch. I think he had a disability as well. But he was just on the couch. He wasn't really saying nothing. He was minding his business on the couch, on the phone, whatever. And then it's all these kids running around and it's me. And you and your mama gone. They ended up being gone, y'all, for like 5, 6 hours. And I'm calling him like, hey, are y'all bringing food for the kids? Should I cook something? Like, he's like, no, 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 we're gonna bring something, we're gonna bring something. Like, okay, his kids, I'm hungry. My kids, I'm hungry. So I'm like, okay, I'm about to cook something because I'm calling you and you're not telling me anything. And then it got to the point where this man stopped answering his phone. Stopped answering his phone.
No, 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 no. What? Okay, pay attention, people. I mean, whether you're just looking at the story for entertainment and for people that may find themselves in situations, one thing usually leads to another, and it's just getting worse and worse. His mama with the kids. I don't know. I have another question. Is this really his mama? Like, I mean, did you get some IDs? Did we check this red flag? And another question: is this really his mama? Is it? Let's. I don't know.
He comes back, it's nighttime. I've already cooked for the kids. He walks in with no food, anyways. I'm looking at him like, where's the food at? Because that could have been their dinner. Because now it's dinner time. Oh, we ended up going out to eat. You didn't bring no food for your kids? We didn't have enough. Y'all didn't have enough money to feed your kids. So then his mama, she's standing there and she looking all at me and she like, what, the kids didn't eat? I said, yeah, the kids ate. I fed them, but he told me that y'all were going to get food to feed everybody. And she, I don't know why he told you that. And she goes sit down and he looking at her and he looked back at me. He dumped, y'all. He used to always have this dumbfounded look. He used to piss me off. But he looking at her and then he look at me and he's dumbfounded. I said, we need to go talk. So we go up.
Man, they all need to go. I don't know. We y'all need to go. It's over. See, don't nobody need them problems. And like most importantly, y'all do not need to waste y'all time on these kind of problems in y'all's youth. It's not worth it. You don't want to be in your whatever. Like, look, you do not want to waste your youth on stuff like this. I'm just gonna leave it there. You don't want to find out sooner rather than later. Red flags mean stop.
Upstairs. And I'm like, you left me here all day with your kids. I'm thinking that your family's coming out here. You're gonna spend some time with your kids. Your family gonna spend some time with your kids. I said, if y'all want to, like, you should have took your kids with you. Well, you don't have no problem watching them. I know I don't have no problem watching them, but these are not my children. Your kids are here to see you. They're not here to see me. Their grandma come in town. Their other sibling come in town. Their daddy is here. Why would y'all leave and leave the kids here? Didn't make no sense to me. And then you're gone all day. Well, my mom wanted to do this, and we was supposed to go get food, but then she wanted to make this stop and this stop and that stop, and we had to go see my aunt. Da, 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 da. That don't excuse nothing. So now I'm better understanding why he wasn't allowed to see his kids. I'm better understanding why he didn't have control over his bills. Why he
Man, this is already diabolical, and to think it's gonna get worse.
didn't have anything because you're not good at managing. Another red flag of mine that I thought was a green one. Yeah, so we go back downstairs because his mom calls his name. She's like, Power, come here, I'm about to go. So he like, Mom, where you going? And she's like, I'm going to stay at the aunt's house. And he was like, well, you can stay here. Like, we already said you can stay here. We giving you the room. We didn't clean it up, change the sheets or whatever. She like, I don't know. Before he said change the sheets, still we didn't clean the room up and everything. She like, I don't want to stay on somebody else's sheets. He said, Mom, we changed the sheet. We bought new sheets for the bed. The sheets are good. I don't know about to stay in nobody else's bed. He said, well, so you gonna go over Auntie's house and sleep on the couch? People ask to be on the couch, y'all, but she rather sleep on the couch and sleep in my bed. Okay, Miss Lady. So from that point, I was like, yeah, this not gonna work. Because if your mama don't get along with me and I don't like your mama, it's just not gonna work. So we're trying to figure out the sleeping. Well, they're trying to figure out the sleeping arrangements, and I'm just kind of listening. And she like, well, I'ma leave, and then y'all can stay here. And the son that was disabled, she like he can either come or he can stay. He ended up staying. So the sleeping arrangements were me and my guy slept upstairs. Me and Power slept upstairs. My daughters slept in their room. Um, my son, he had another kid in his room because my son had a bunk bed. So the kids, his other kid or kids, I feel like it was two, but I feel like it was one. I don't know. But they slept in my son's room because he had a bunk bed, and then his brother was downstairs on the
See, like I feel like it was two, but it was one. I get that.
couch. And there was some other. I think somebody else was on the other couch, and then the mama was gone. But y'all, you in my house all day. You leave me here with your kids. You and your mama got nasty attitudes. Y'all being like real secret, and you're not really telling the full story of what's going on. Like you're not really keeping me informed of what's going on. He lied to me, and he got to be lying to her because she was like looking at me like you need to level up and get your own spot. Why are you in my son's spot? That's the vibe that she was giving me. Like, girl, why are you here? Well, Miss Lady, you're in my you and your son. But it gets even worse. Come back to part 5.
It gets worse. Oh my gosh. Let's go.
Okay, so part 5. After his mom leaves, she drove, so she went back to whatever state she's from. I'm not gonna say what state she's from, and I think she calls him like the next day, or he calls her, whatever. And they're on the phone talking. He tells her like that I felt the way about how she behaved when she was in my home. So she asked to speak to me. I get on the phone. I'm like, hello, and she's like, hi, how are you? I'm like, I'm fine. And she was like, well, I wanted to apologize. Power told me that you had felt the way about the way I was acting in my attitude, but I just had a lot going on, and I'm trying to deal with my kids and my grandkids, and I just got lots of going on. Da, da, da. And I said, I understand that, but you were being nasty to me and not to anyone else. So you taking stuff out on me. I haven't done anything to you. That's literally my first time meeting you. That's my first impression of you. She said, yeah, I understand, but there's a lot going on. So, please don't be upset with him and yada, yada, yada. I'm like, okay. And I get the phone back to him. I don't accept your apology because again, I get it. I am not someone who believes that you're not allowed to have a bad day. Have a bad day. Everybody has a bad day, but I firmly believe in taking your stuff out on who you mean to take it out on. That misdirected, misguided anger, we're not gonna do that. Not gonna do that. So that was wrapped. That was a done deal. Fast forward. Now all of this is happening, y'all, like between the end of May to like mid August. It's not a lot of time. May, June.
No, that's not a lot of time. Not a lot of time at all for to be this invested. It no, no.
July, 3 months, yeah, 4 months. Drinking sweet tea, and I'm a little jittery, so this part will have a whole lot of jump cuts in it. So, anyways, I had a friend. We're gonna call him Bob. I had a friend named Bob. Me and Bob were close. Bob was there for me when my mom passed away. Me and him have been cool at this point for like 3 years, and because I didn't really have like a lot of help, or I'm not even say a lot of help. I didn't have a lot of family. Bob was like really one of my people in my support system that really had my back. So Bob used to take my kids to school for me because Bob worked downtown and my kids' school was also downtown. So he would just pick the kids up and take them to school just because, he was already going that way. Now, Bob and Power knew about each other, but they had never met. So one day Bob comes over to it wasn't the first day of school, it was probably the second or third day of school. So he had picked them up a few times already this week. But he came over to pick the kids up and he was pulling the trash cans up from the side of the house to the front because, when I lived alone, he would do that all the time. Anyways, also, I wasn't with money or I wasn't with Power. I was with Bob. So we were together all the time. And Power knew that too. So we were really close. So he was pulling the trash cans up or whatever. And Power's like, what is that? Like, who's that outside? I'm like, oh, that's Bob pulling up the trash cans, whatever. He's like, why? I'm like, because it's trash day. And typically he comes to pull up my trash cans if he's on his way over here, or if he's over here, or if he's riding by or whatever, he'll pull up my trash cans for me if they're not out and it's trash day. And he like, okay. So
Hold on. If he lived there, was his power dude taking out the trash? Was Bob still taking out the trash? Wouldn't he have known that Bob was taking the trash out? Okay, now that's a red flag for you, but he got way more, so it don't matter. Cause this shit. 3 months, all this in 3 months. Whew.
No. He's outside. I grab the kids and we start heading outside, get them in the car so they can get ready to go. So once I get the kids in the car, me and Bob talk for a little bit and he's like, is Power in there? I'm like, yeah. He's like, I haven't met him yet. Like, am I ever gonna meet him? And I was like, I don't think he's really in the mood to be meeting people. He's like, okay, like y'all good? I'm like, yeah, we good. Kids go to school. So he's picking the kids up for the rest of the week, taking them to and from school. Sunday night, I'm in the shower and Power runs to the bathroom. He's like, babe, come here. I gotta show you something. I'm like, what? I'm like, I'm not even done washing up yet. I still got soap all on me. He's like, come here, hurry up. I gotta show you something. Like, hurry up. So I'm like, okay. I turn the water off. Soap still on my body, y'all. I turn the water off, put my towel on. I'm running to the room like, what? I'm thinking this something about the kids. He turned the lights off. So I'm like, are you serious? Sir, no. He like, no, like, I just come to the window. So I go to the window, y'all, and I'm looking out the window. Like, what am I looking at? And he's like, what kind of car Bobby got? I'm like, he drives a red Charger. He like, isn't that his car? It's a red Charger across the street from my house, y'all. And I'm like, no. And he like, that's not his car. I said, why would that be his car? He like, call him. No, he said, he just called you. And I said, okay, did you answer? And he's like, no. He said, call him. I'm like, no. He's like, call him. I'm like, okay, I call him. He said, put the phone on speaker, not putting the phone on speaker. I call him. And when I call him, y'all, the phone and the other car, like you see the light from the phone light up. And then you see the phone go from being on somebody's lap to going to their dang on ear. And I say, hello. And Bob says, hello. I said, are you outside my house? He pulls off. He's like, no. I hear him pull off and I'm watching him pull off. So Power tapped me. He tapped me like, give me the phone. I'm like, no. I said, are you outside my house? And he like, no. He put off. He like, no. I am in your area though because I had to go pick some stuff up and take it to my aunt. Now his aunt was an elderly lady and she lived like 2 streets over from me. So makes sense why he would be in the area. But also, you were sitting in front of my house. So I'm like, okay, are you still taking the kids to school tomorrow? He's like, yeah, why wouldn't I be? And I was like, okay, I was just calling you, double check today, Sunday night or whatever. I'm like, all right, well, I gotta call you back. My aunt's calling me. I'm like, okay. We hang up. Power is like, I don't want him taking kids to school no more. That shit was weird. And I'm like, it was weird, but he take my kids to school. This little system that we got, like, it's not a big deal. I'll talk to him about it tomorrow. And he like, no, I don't want him taking the kids to school no more. You need to stop talking to him. I don't know.
Look, okay. All these people need to go. All of them. This Bob need to go. Power need to go. Cause why is Bob outside the house? What? What? Was that really Bob? Oh, okay.
What he got going on, yada yada yada. I'm like, okay, well, whatever. I didn't think too much of it. I let it go. I go get back in the shower. That's the end of the night. So the next day, Bob comes and he's, hunking the horn, blah, 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 like I'm outside, whatever. So I get the kids together. We start heading outside. Power stops me. He's like, I don't want to take my kids to school no more. And I'm like, he's going to take them. So he's like, well, this is the last time.
Oh my gosh. I think Power's gonna beat up Bob. I don't know. Oh no.
So I'm like, okay. So I go outside and I get them in the car or whatever. I'm talking about Bob was like, are y'all good? And I was like, yeah. But he saw you outside my house last night. He's like, I wasn't outside your house. I said, Bob, we saw you outside the house. Like we saw your car there. We saw the phone light up when I called you. We saw you when you pulled off. I heard you when you pulled off. And he was like, just kind of like, oh, you called me. I said, why were you outside my house? And he was like, well, Power had messaged me on Facebook. I'm like, messaged you about what? And he was like, I don't want to get into it right now, but I want to make sure y'all good. And I'm like, yeah, we good. So he like, let me get to kids' school. We'll talk about it later. I'm like, okay. So I go back in the house. And I asked Power, I'm like, did you message Bob? And he was like, oh, yeah, I did reach out to him on Facebook. I said, about what? He's like, well, after he was sitting outside the house, like, I just felt need to say something to him. What did you say? I told him don't come around no more. Why did you tell him that? That's my friend. That's not your decision to make. I texted him and told him, like, hey, I'm gonna pick the kids up today. And he calls me. This was like later on the day, obviously. When it's time for the kids to go to school, like an hour before. I texted him, like, I'm gonna pick the kids up today. he calls me and he was like, "Why are you picking the kids up? Like, I picked the kids up. I'm already headed that way. Like, don't worry about it." And I was like, "No, it is kind of weird that you and my man got this thing going on. Like me and him live together. You're one of my closest friends. Like, we're still good. But when it comes to the kids, I'll just pick them up and take them from school. Like, that way y'all don't have to be in each other's space." He's like, "I don't be in his space. I'll be outside. He be in the house." I said, "Yeah, but here's me knowing that Power be fighting. I'm trying to help Bob. I'm really trying to save him for real because I don't know what type of time Power is on. I do, but I don't. Right? So I tell Bob like, yeah, but just so y'all not in each other's space, like I don't want to know nothing to actually end up happening." He like, "Well, what's gonna happen?" I said, "I don't know what would happen, but y'all are men and y'all going back and forth. I don't want nothing to transpire from this. From now on, I'll just pick the kids and take them to and from school." Bob was pissed. He was so mad, y'all. When I went to get the kids, Bob was there. He parked across the street. So like the kids' school, like the door is here. Bob parked like down here. So he's like caddy corner from the door. So as soon as I walk out the door, I see his car. And he starts driving towards me. And I'm like, "Oh my God." And he like, "We need to talk. We need to talk. Like I told you I was coming to get them. Why would you still come get them?" And I'm like, "Because you and Bob, I mean you and Power got this thing going on. I don't want no decision between the two of y'all." And then I'm in the middle of it, like, let's just halt that right there. Like, we're still friends, we're still gonna hang out. But you come to the house every day to get the kids, drop them off. Like, we just don't need to have that part no more. And so like he's like, "My feelings are hurt because I love your kids and you know, whatever. I'm like, I'm not saying you can't be around them, but like picking them up to and from school, we just not gonna do that part anymore because I'm trying, yeah, he don't know I'm trying to save his life. And I didn't want to tell him like Power will beat you up. Like I didn't want to tell him that because like it just was gonna add fuel to the fire. But I'm trying to tell him like we just don't need to do that part anymore. He's mad. He speeds off in the school zone. Why are you speeding off like that in the school zone? So we leave. Later on that night, my sister's calling me. I remember what I call my sister? Brandy. Brandy's calling me like, "Girl, have you looked at Facebook?" And I'm like, "What's going on with Facebook?" She like, "Girl, go look at your Facebook." March 6th coming up, y'all.
No,
Yeah, my energy's kind of.
sorry. No, no, not the Facebook beef.
All right, y'all. So I'm on the train behind.
Oh
Y'all can
my,
hear me. I'm ready to wrap this thing on up. So boom, I check my Facebook, and when the first post I see is from Bob. Bob making status after status after status after status, and I don't remember what he said verbatim. But long story short, he was going back and forth with Power. So he's making his post, and Power is putting stuff in the comments. I don't remember, like I said, exactly what he was saying, but he was saying like Power is interfering, he's insecure, he can't let a woman be a woman, and he just ruined his friendship. Like Power just ruined his friendship, yada yada yada. So then you got Power in the comments being like, "You're weird. You were sitting outside our house. You creepy. You stalking us." They basically like reading to the down. So then I go to Bob's page and I see a post where I'm tagged and it says something about me owing him some money. Y'all, I've never borrowed no money from that man in my life. He has done things for me and I've done things for him, but borrowing money from him, owing him some money, that's never been a thing. So while this is happening, I'm on the phone with my sister, and she like, "Girl, I don't care what's going on. I'm riding for Power." Like I said, my family, my friends like Power. They're like, "I'm riding for Power." So Power and him, I'm like literally seeing them messaging each other on this post, going back and forth. So they're going back and forth in real time, and I'm seeing it happen. And you know when you upset and you text them, and so like you like misspell words and stuff like that. So Power, it got to a point where he was misspelling words. It was just looking real weird, and
dude, why are two dudes going back and forth on Facebook? Oh, oh goodness. Oops, my bad.
Bob was like, "You can't even spell. Like, you're illiterate. I'm not about to argue with somebody who's illiterate." Like, he was low key eating them up. Like, Bob was low key eating Power up. And so then I text Bob and was like, "What are you doing? Like, what is this? Why does man screenshot the text and post it? Like, oh, now she's texting me. Now she, okay, Bob. So now you're doing a lot. You're doing a lot." And people in the comments were saying like, "Oh, Bob on his family, honey. Bob trying to be a family." Here's the thing about that. So I've never seen Bob with a girl. Like I said, we've been friends for 3 years at that point. I've never seen him with a girl, never heard interest in him talking to a girl. People kept asking me, like, was he gay? And I'm like, I don't know. But like everybody kept asking me, like, oh, isn't he gay? Like, is he gay? I'm like, I don't think so. No, he didn't give me that vibe. But everybody kept saying that he was. I've never seen him with nobody. Me and Bob were strictly platonic. not a relationship. Now, he did say that at one point that he wanted to be with me. I let him know I wasn't interested in him that way. But some gay men are bisexual, so he could have been that, or he could have just been a straight man that was. I don't know. They said they had proof he was gay, but I never asked to see because I didn't really care. It was strictly platonic, is what I was basically trying to say. Like nothing like that ever happened between us. So the fact that he was being so messy kind of fueled the rumors even more that he was probably a gay man. That's not here nor there. But at that point, our friendship was done, and I wanted else to do it. So Power comes home from work and he's asking me like, "Did you see what's going on social media?" I'm like, "I absolutely saw what's happening." And he like basically like he got to put hands on Bob, and I'm like, "You don't got to put hands on Bob." I said, "No matter what you do, like Bob, not, he don't play those games. Bob play police games. He's very much in the corporate world. He will call the cops on you." And he was like, "Well, what's his address? You don't need his address. Well, what's his phone number? You don't need his phone number. Or where he work at? I'm not telling you where he may work at." Like, yeah, it got really, really messy from there. And at that point, it was like, okay, now Bob, you and I cannot be friends because one, you're into my man, which is whatever. But two, you're starting rumors on me saying I owe you money. You're trying to smear me because you heard that you cannot pick my kids up to and from school, bringing me down, bringing me into your mess when all I did was try to protect you from Power. I couldn't get with that. So at that point, me and him was no longer friends. Shortly after all this went down, I ended up getting sick, and during that time, Power was of great help to me. Like I was having issues with my stomach; it was hurting so bad. The acid reflux was crazy, and like it felt like my stomach was on fire. Like I could barely get out the bed for a few days. So I ended up going to the doctor, and you probably guessed it. Your girl was with child. Um, yeah. So after I find out, I call Money, and I'm talking to Money about it, and I'm crying because I know like there's no way I can go through with this. Like there's no way I'm gonna be able to go through with
Mm-mm-mm.
this. Like all this stuff that's happening. Although me and Power did have good times, the bad outweighed the good, and it was just like it was too much. It was too much on me. So I talked with Money. You know, she was there to console me, and she had my back. And long story short, I no longer was pregnant. And I'm not gonna lie, that absolutely affected me greatly, and it's something that has always sat with me. But I really just feel like I made the right decision. So, you know, everybody got their own beliefs around that. However you feel about it is how you feel about it. Your feelings is valid, but I made the best decision for me. Now, Power was not happy with that decision, which is crazy to me because you don't have your life in order and you already have a multitude of children, none of which are under your care full time. But it is what it is. So shortly after that, y'all, this is when it really, really y'all think y'all think something's already going downhill. It's really going downhill now. But even though I know like he wasn't happy with it, he still was pretending like everything was cool. We didn't tell nobody outside of our immediate circle. I don't know if he told anybody at all, but I told Money, I told my sister, um, and I told like maybe two other people that was really close to me because I needed support during that time. So brother's girlfriend, I forgot what I named her, but she ended up writing on my post, like on one of the posts that he made or whatever, like, "Oh, I love y'all. Y'all are so beautiful together. I enjoy having dinner with y'all. Yada yada yada. We gotta do it again, right?" So boom, and he responds to her like, "Yes, we definitely gotta do it again. I love my woman. She saw this and she saw that." You know what I'm saying? So he keeping up the rules that everything is cool. One day, I get a what's the text? No, I get a DM on Facebook from one of his coworkers, and his coworker asked me, "Hey, are you and Power still together?" Now, Power had just wrote on my wall, and when you write on Facebook, everybody sees it. So the coworker asked me like, "Hey, are you and Power still together?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And the coworker says to me, "Okay, I have to talk to you about something, but I want to call you on my break. Is that cool?" I'm like, "Yeah." So I give the coworker my number and they call me private, maybe like 10, 15 minutes later. We get on the phone and they're telling me like, okay, Power be at work telling people that he hates you. He hates you. He cannot stand you. You get on his nerves. He don't like being around you. He cannot wait to break up with you. The person also ended up telling me that Power has a work wife who he spends a lot of time with, who he goes on his lunch breaks with. And that was kind of news to me, but then not really because Power will be gone a lot. He got off work at 4:30, and sometimes he wouldn't come home till like 8, 9 o'clock at night. So I just suspected something was going on, but I really didn't give a dang because I was low key trying to think of a way to break up with him too. I just didn't want to put him out on his ass.
Put him out on his ass. Anyway.
So yeah, the coworker's telling me that Power's been saying all this crazy stuff and that he has a work wife. So I'm stunned. The coworker goes further to tell me that the work wife, we're just gonna call her Desiree. So Desiree messes with a lot of people in the office. Desiree's husband came up to the job, and Power and Desiree's husband got into it, and that Power will most likely be losing his job. As y'all can imagine, I'm shook. Like I'm shook because this man be writing on my Facebook all day, every day, how much he loved me. And so I'm like, "Are you 100% sure about this?" And the coworker says yes. And he asked me because he's like, "I see that he's always writing all this stuff on Facebook, but I want to see if y'all were still together or like what exactly it was because it looked like y'all together, but at work he acts like a completely different person. Like he literally cannot stand your guts." The coworker tells me that they felt the need to tell me this because they always hear from everybody how I'm such a good person, and from what they knew of me, they agreed, and they didn't feel like Power deserved me, and that I didn't deserve to be treated how Power was treating me. So there's that. They also asked
I'm sorry. He can go live with the work wife. How about that?
me not to tell Power that I had heard it from this specific person. I told them I would never tell who told me, and they was like, "Okay, cool. If you need anything else, message me, and I can try to send you whatever proof that I have." I'm like, "Okay, cool." So being that the coworker had gave me an earful, I just broke down crying because you out work telling me you hate me after all that I've done for you, after all that I've put up with you, and that honestly let me further know I made the right decision when it came to you know what. Now I started packing up this stuff immediately because there's no way you're gonna be here if you hate me. Like you hate me, baby. Okay, yeah, it's time to get your stuff. So I grabbed these things, I'm putting it in the bag, and I'm grabbing it, I'm taking it down the stairs. And I call a mutual friend of ours. We're gonna call him Superman. So I called Superman. Now some time has passed, probably like 2 or 3 hours. And I called Superman and I'm like, "Hey, have you talked to Power today?" And he was like, "Yeah, I was actually with him earlier." I'm like, "Okay." He's like, "I picked him up from work and I dropped him off somewhere." I said, "Where you dropped him off to?" And he was like, "Oh, I just dropped him off like on the street," and then he just kind of walked off. So I'm like, "Okay, man, why aren't you really telling me like where you dropped him off?" So he asked me like, "Is everything cool?" And I said, "No, I'm gonna need you to come to my house and get Power stuff and take it wherever he at." He like, "What?" I said, "Yeah, wherever you dropped him off at, I need to take it." He like, "Well, I don't know exactly where it was." I said, "Well, figure it out and come get his stuff and drop it off." So he tells me, "I'm on my way over there right now." Okay, then. So my plan was when Power got home to have Superman there waiting for him with his things, give him a ride because that's your good boy, and to kind of tell him what the coworker said, but then add some of my own stuff onto it. Because secret, if you publicly cheating on me with your other coworker, your work wife, I know you got other chicks around here too. So I'm like, I'm just kind of fish and see what information I can get. Even though it really didn't matter, I just want to be nosy at this point. So Superman ended up coming over. Literally, maybe 2 minutes later, after he pulled up, Power ended up walking up, and I'm like, "Oh, this is perfect timing, Power. I got all your stuff outside." And he's like, "What are you talking about?" So they greet each other. And he's like, "All my stuff. Like, what do you mean? Like, what is this?" I said, "This bag is yours since you hate me so much." And there he goes again with that dumbfounded look. I said, "Yeah, you don't know. I know about your work life. I know you've been cheating on me. I know about the girl that you have pregnant, and I know everything." And so he's like looking like the girl I got pregnant. I said, "Yeah, I know about the girl. Somebody told me that they saw you walking down the street with some girl." Now, didn't nobody ever tell me that, but because Superman told me that he dropped him off somewhere and he didn't know exactly specifically where he had went, I just made some stuff up and like, "Yes, somebody saw you on the street with some girl," and that ended up being true, y'all. He was cheating on me with another girl. So yeah, Superman helped him grab his belongings and put them in the trunk. So then Power's like, "Well, I need to go in the house. I got more stuff in the house. You don't have nothing else in here. Go through that bag. I'll show you everything that you have is in there, and everything else that you had was back in that apartment that you got evicted out of." So Superman's like, "Wait, y'all. Like, let's just talk this out.
No, no talking.
Let's figure out how we can fix this." I said, "There's no fixing it. He's at his job telling me that he hates me." And I said, "You hate me after all that I've done for you? You hate me?" And he said, and I quote, "You're too good to be true. Everybody always has good stuff to say about you. I haven't heard anything bad about you. So because you haven't heard anything bad about me, I'm too good to be true, and you hate me? That didn't make any sense to me." So even Superman was like, "Bro, what are you talking about? Like, she a good woman, like, you know that." And he like, "See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? Everybody likes you." You're too good to be true. Don't nobody got nothing bad to say about you. And I said, with your experience with me, what have I shown you that wasn't good? What have I done to you that's hurt you? He said, nothing. Well, then, duh, if you have a good experience with me and other people have good experiences with me, then this is just genuinely who I am. So, long and short of it, Superman helped him get his stuff. They put it in the trunk. He packed it up. He left. I never saw this man again in person. Never saw him again. I'm hoping I'm not leaving too much out because I really trying to rush through this because, like, low key, I'm tired of talking about this story already. Like, I'm ready to move on and talk about something new. Like this, I didn't expect this to be as drawn out as it was, but I hope y'all got y'all life. Just know that I'm making better decisions today, and yeah, y'all can have power, baby. Only power I'm watching is the one produced by 50 Cent, honey.
Okay, well, I am glad that she learned her lesson. I am so glad that she's in a better place. Look like she on the flight right now. So you go, girl. And as for all these other people out here, um, take a lesson from this playbook. There were so many red flags in such a small amount of time. Come on now. And then this Bobby guy, let's just gotta hold the woman accountable. What's going on with him? Because it sounded like uh, you she knew him forever. And then it's like, oh, 2 to 3 years. That's not forever, but I guess it could. I don't know why. I guess it feels like that these days for people. But pay attention to that. So we are done with this story. We've been over an hour, and so with that, we're gonna leave you. And until next time, as usual, we are sending love and light.